Hey guys, it's Kathy Anderson with the All Things Nonprofit Podcast. Be aware and empower. That's our subtitle. So I have a special guest today. To me, special, and I hope you all will think the same. And I'm just going to get right into it. That's what we do, right? No need of doing all that extra talking. For those that don't know me, I am a nonprofit specialist, business consultant coach, specializing in nonprofit organizations. My company is A&E Coaching Group, and the A is for awareness, the E is for empowerment, because we believe that if we make those that we're working with or assisting, if we make you aware of your resources, a lot of times you can just empower yourself. It's about the resources that are around you. So without further ado, I will bring in Dr. Victoria Boyd. All righty. I'm
Good
working it
morning.
out. Hello,
Thank you for having
hello.
me on the show.
You are welcome, and thank you for gracing us with your presence. And they're going to find out real soon. Well, I think this is an honor and a privilege. I think I told you even a lot of times I have the nonprofit leaders on, but we have a double duo here, right? So this is truly an expert. And I will just let you introduce yourself and kind of give us that just who Dr. Victoria Boyd is.
Absolutely. Well, I usually like to talk about where I came from. I
Yeah.
was a public school teacher and in the
Mhm.
public education system for over 32 years. I taught dance. And so even my license plate now says Dr. Dance because I had a fabulous career. I took students literally all over the world to perform, United States, France, Scotland, London, and had a great career. Was provided with many opportunities that most teachers don't even think about. I wanted to expose these kids because they were from inner city Detroit, and I wanted to
Mhm.
show them the world. And I pretty much did. And I had a great career, got a lot of awards. I was awarded the National Teacher of the Year by, National
Mhm.
Dance Association. So I think I was recognized, but it was more about me watching the kids reach their full potential. And that's what
Mhm.
really stuck with me. Now, okay, so I'm a teacher, I'm in the public school system, but I was in performing arts. And concurrent to that, I have been executive director, president. I have formed, merged, and closed nonprofits and
Mhm.
learned a lot being in leadership and the administrative levels on local, regional, and national organizations. And so I had almost a dual career going because
Mhm.
my involvement, teach school during the night and do nonprofits day job teaching, night job nonprofits. Fabulous. And then I became the state arts consultant for Michigan. And it
Okay.
was going great. After about 6 years, all of a sudden they did some education funding cuts. And guess what is first to go? The arts.
Mhm.
And so they gave me my notice. But see, things just happen for me. It's synchronicity, coincidence, whatever it might be. That Christmas, I had been out in Las Vegas visiting my brother. He had lived here for several years. And I don't know what made me do it. Might have been the universe telling me. I started looking at houses because I would visit him so often. I said, it makes sense to get a house for retirement and have some place to stay when I come because I'm coming out here 2 or 3 times a year. Found the house I wanted, went through the whole process. That was when the market here was like crazy. You had to actually get in a lottery. But anyway, by February, I was out here in Christmas. By February, signed the contract and a mortgage to build a new house here for my retirement, planning years in advance. Guess what? 30 days later, I got a retirement notice. A layoff notice from
Oh,
my job in Michigan. And now I have 2 mortgages and looking at coming up with no job. and so,
wow.
when certain things happen, you have to take action. So
Yeah.
basically, what happened, I accepted because they offered me full retirement with a great severance package. I accepted that
Mhm.
retirement package. Ended up from my 5 year retirement plan became 5 months, and I was living in Las Vegas by July of that same year.
Wow.
So it was a
Wow.
big turnaround.
Wow.
Once moving out here, I totally became absorbed in the nonprofit sector. I taught nonprofit management at UNLV. I just, because that's where I saw the need.
Mm-hmm.
Out here, I hate to say, sorry, Nevada, but you are about 15 to 20 years behind the other regions in the United States in terms of nonprofit development and sophistication.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mainly because of how this region evolved from the casinos and gambling, and those big corporations would just give out money
That makes sense.
initially. And so they really didn't have to learn about really the infrastructure management, operation systems, and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw a need. I'm a trainer by heart. I knew the nonprofit sector, and that's how it evolved. I was here. I tried. I tried working for other people, and actually went through 3 different jobs. And finally, I said, you know what? At this point, I need to be an entrepreneur and create my own. And so I already
Mm-hmm.
had what was called the Galaxy Group consulting firm. I started under that umbrella, but then I launched the Philantrepreneur Show on Blog Talk Radio, and this was in 2012.
Okay.
So we're talking almost 11 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, it was just the Philantrepreneur Show. After about 6 months, then I launched the Philantrepreneur Journal, and it was all about, philanthropy, entrepreneurship, because I heard myself telling all of these nonprofits in my courses at UNLV that even though you're a nonprofit, you're actually a for-purpose business, and you need to think about entrepreneurship, how
Mm-hmm.
to be revenue, create revenue streams, all of those things. So anyway, I had this Philantrepreneur. Out of the blue early in 2014, now my show had been going in the journal for almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
This marketer called me. I was in the car driving to California, and I wasn't driving, so I answered the phone. Anyway, it was a marketer here in Las Vegas. And the first thing he said, I want to know about this name, Philantrepreneur. It has caught my attention. I keep seeing it, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I ended up talking to him for almost an hour because
Wow.
he was a former teacher and from the Midwest. We just sort of clicked and had some things in common. Near the end of the conversation, he said, it's a hot, you're on a trajectory with that name, but there's a German company trying to trademark it here in the US. Because I had the domain,
Wow.
I had all that stuff.
Right.
Anyway, got off the phone with him, immediately found a trademark lawyer, asked what could I do, if there was anything could I do, had I waited too long, was it too late? So I heard him over there clicking on the computer doing something, and he came back, he said, I got good news and I got bad news. I was like, oh, okay. I said, give me the bad news first. He said, well, yes, there is a German company that has applied for a trademark. And it's sort of obvious that they're looking at you because they applied with resident agent in Nevada. So that means they actually were looking at my paper, what I was doing. He said, but the good news is they filed the paperwork wrong and they're going to have to resubmit it. And so if you can get yourself together, we can file this within the next 72 hours and beat them to the punch.
Wow. Wow.
So, what his recommendation, because at that moment, I just was working under the Galaxy Group umbrella.
Okay.
Hey, I'm a nonprofit specialist. I know how to form nonprofits. That's one of the services I provide. So anyway, within the next 48 hours, I had the Philantrepreneur Foundation. And that's when it was born, September of 2014. And that was the umbrella that we filed the trademark for. And because I had the show, the journal, and at that point, because now I'm a nonprofit, I talked about what our mission would be, which is building nonprofit capacity through education, awareness, and resources. And that was the birth of the Philantrepreneur Foundation. And 6 months later, we got the trademark.
Yay.
So that was our beginning. That's how we came to be.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Okay. I have questions all in my head on this.
Go ahead, just spit them out.
Okay. So This is great. Um, Now I know this is probably in a lot of other people's head as well. Did you ever try to get any funding for the nonprofit side at all?
For our organization. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there's I do funding strategies all the time for us.
Mm-hmm.
Just think of, we're not one of those warm and fuzzies. If you
Mm-hmm.
think
Right.
about it, we don't help the homeless or feed the hungry, or, save the puppies. To me, those are the warm and funny fuzzies.
Mm-hmm.
That's when people just give you money.
Mm-hmm.
So we follow the model, and if you look at any of the more recent data on where revenue is coming to nonprofits, yes, there's a big individual donor pool where a lot of the funding comes. But one of the next largest pools is earned income.
Mm-hmm.
And so we provide services, products and services. We use what was called the affiliate platforms, where we're affiliates with a lot of the products we use,
Mm-hmm.
because we help build websites and we help people get Google ad grants. And so we first educate them and then provide the service. And that's how a lot of our revenue comes. With our podcast, we ask for donations, to support the podcast. We
Okay.
ask for, we have a membership program that actually is relaunching um, tomorrow, because I'm doing a training tomorrow on
Oh,
what is
really?
called Super
Okay.
Donor Challenge. I know you shouldn't always date things. This is Halloween. This is October 31st. So if anyone's listening, that training starts November 1st. So by the time this gets aired, it's probably already over. But
Yes.
this training will be every quarter. So it will
Okay.
be back in that would be February, December, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, February, and it's called Super Donor Framework Training or Master Class. It's a
Okay.
3-day training. Each day it's only 45 minutes, and that model is based off of what is called a challenge,
Mm-hmm.
because most nonprofit leaders or staff members don't have hours to sit in training.
Right.
45 minutes is a good number where they can do it. They get the information, start some implementation strategies, move
Mm-hmm.
on with their day, and then come back and get another chunk of information. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
3-day challenge, 45 minutes of live training each day. And so
Okay.
that's called the Super Donor Challenge. Um, we also, every other month, the last one was in October, so the next one will be in December, we do Google ad grant training, which
Mm-hmm.
is, we talk about what is the Google ad grant, but more important, we talk about what you need to have in place before applying, which ultimately spills over into your whole marketing plan. And we
Mm-hmm.
believe all roads lead to your website. And if your
Mm-hmm.
website is not working for the organization, you're losing money. So we focus a lot on website content effectiveness and what it should be doing for the organization. So that's
Mm-hmm.
another service we provide. We build
Okay.
websites. We have an
Okay.
assessment tool, all of those things. So what I've done is looked at the needs.
Mm-hmm.
Most nonprofits think they need fundraising.
Right.
No, that's what they think they need. They need marketing,
Yes.
because marketing is the foundation that gets them to the fundraising, gets them to be donors, gets them to your events, gets them to understand your program, and the core of your marketing should be your website, because
Mm-hmm.
have a Google ad grant, those ad campaigns are going to send them back to your website. You got to have
Mm-hmm.
some content there to send them to. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
big cycle of how
Yes.
you set it up, and that's what we do. We can set up the entire system for you. We can assess the website you already have, or build you a brand new one. So it
Okay.
just that's just one service. The other area is the whole education platform. I
Yes.
have on YouTube, because we have what is called the TPF network, the Philantrepreneur Foundation network. There's over 150 videos over there. So,
Mm.
so what I'm doing now is actually transferring them to the nonprofit corner.
Yes. Love
So
that.
it becomes almost a hub of where everything is. So we have the
Mhm.
Nonprofit Corner podcast. Then we have your Nonprofit Corner, and it's full of resources. There's a whole page of books and things. So on the podcast, what I'll be doing is featuring a book. I might talk about what it's for, leadership, management, whatever, and
Mhm.
then how to access it. Then there's a whole tools page. If you're looking for CRMs or free donation portals that will
Mhm.
process donations free, and there is a portal out there that does that.
Mhm.
So we provide the links and information. I have within the Super Donor Challenge, we talk about direct mail, we talk about email challenges,
Mhm.
not challenges, but creating
The campaigns.
autoresponders with the CRMs and all. We talk about the tools and systems that you need to put in place.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's all about educating them on how to be more effective and
Yes.
efficient. I'm into being efficient and effective. I think you heard some of that earlier.
Exactly. Okay. Okay. So I always say it's a curse word when you talk about marketing, right? Because we tend to think that, for whatever reason, we tend to think that a nonprofit is not a business as well. So I love that
Okay,
you brought that out. I'm not the only
but
one
let's
saying it.
first let's get. I'm gonna get on my soapbox. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
standing on
you're
my
fine.
soapbox. I tell people stop using the term nonprofit. You are a for-purpose business.
Yes.
And
I like that.
marketing has to be the forefront. You need to invest in marketing in
Yes.
order to do anything that you do. If people aren't aware of what you
Mhm.
are, who you are, what your cause is, you're just floating
Mhm.
out in the air. You're just, you're one of 20,000 billion people on the internet. You
Mhm.
you have
Mhm.
to market, whether it's organic or through Google Ads, which they give you paid ads free. They set it up for $10,000 per month. You got to think
Yes.
about it. So,
Amazing.
marketing has to be a priority when you're thinking about fundraising or any of the other systems or programs or platforms that you want to do.
Mhm.
Marketing is the key. And I guess that's why I sort of gravitated to marketing so much,
Mhm.
content marketing. I've done tons of workshops on cause marketing, how to build a
Mhm.
relationship with businesses, how to show them how to increase their purpose and profits. So if you look at my little sign back there, it says Philantrepreneur Purpose and Profits. It's
Mhm.
connecting those two, that even though you are a nonprofit, you got to think about profits.
Yes.
You're just doing it with purpose.
Mhm.
So marketing is, uh, I want to say, one of our key focuses.
Yes.
Yes, I've written a book on board development called Board Bound Leadership. I'm an author of 5 books, but
Okay.
I I enjoyed writing that book. But then when I started working with boards, I found it wasn't my happy place.
Right. I
I
get
could
it.
be more creative in the marketing arena.
Mhm.
And I don't, most people, when they hear marketing, they think social media and all that stuff. I don't touch
Mhm.
social media and all that. I deal with content marketing, writing blogs.
Mm.
What is your narrative on your website? Is your narrative having impact? Are you creating lead magnets and something of value that people want? Do you research your people? Do you know what they want? And so I show all of those skills in that super donor training.
I like that. And what stands out in my head, that last statement you said, do you know what they want?
I showed them how to use keyword
Currently.
searches and different tools that they can use, because if you don't know what they want, how do you know what to ask or give them? So that's why we're sort of unique. And your original question is, do we do fundraising?
Yes.
Not really. We ask people to support us
Okay.
by donating,
Okay.
but because we're giving them a service. We
Okay.
do, like for our training, we introduced it as yes, you can register free. And then there
Mhm.
were VIP upgrades. We did that for a few introductory months, but
Mhm.
now we're going to charge, oh, it's going to hurt us, a whole $7. Oh my God. You think people can afford $7? But
It might be really hard.
that really distinguishes between what I call the tire kickers
Yes.
and those that are serious about
Yes.
gaining the information skills and understanding that they truly need. They're serious about taking their organization to the next level and having results. You've got to invest in yourself as a professional in
Yes.
order to help your organization uh, improve, go from surviving to thriving, whatever situation
Mhm.
or area you're trying to improve. You've got to invest in yourself first.
I love that. You definitely have to invest in yourself. I need to take your courses. I tell you, they say, Kathy, you know so much because I'm constantly learning. I mean,
Mhm.
what I did back in 91 in a nonprofit.
It's not even a fact. In fact, I'm writing a blog right now about, today's, you have to be donor centered fundraising with the internet in mind.
Yes.
All of that has to have responsiveness that's related to how they're used to using their phone, the internet, and all of those things. And if you're not connecting that, you've lost them. You've lost a lot already.
You lost a whole lot, right? I know I have some to say, oh, but Miss Kathy, I don't want to go on the internet. I was like, well, that's where the people are.
84% of all searches start on Google.
Oh, what
That's
was
why
that
the Google
percent?
ad grants are so important. 84% started, and
84.
Google has 91% of the market share compared to, Bing, Yahoo, Ask, all of those other search engines,
Mhm.
Edge, and the micro. Google has 91%. You
Okay.
have to have an online presence,
Yes.
and social media does not fill that gap,
Right.
because when people are doing searches, it way down the list, it might show a social media name or
Mhm.
something.
Mhm.
But what's at top, very top of those pages, that first page,
Mhm.
there's a little
Mhm.
box that says ad. It's a little square
Right.
box, and it has those. That's when you have a Google ad grant, you're at the top of the page.
Okay.
And
Well,
it's free.
we'll have to get together because I need to send my people to you because some areas I don't want to touch. Like I know what to do for myself, and I can tell you. But I love that you really, really are into and knowledgeable of that piece because that's important. I even tell them with social media, a lot of times you have to wear different hats, but that's the purpose of building capacity too, which you
Right.
spoke to. That's one of the things that you teach because at the end of the day, the social media is a lot of time for the community. So you still got to think about the people you're serving who may need to know some of those resources
And
that
that's where
are.
you can use it as a tool to gather data, because
Yes.
now you can do polls there, you can ask
Yeah.
questions, you can lead them to surveys that are all free. From a Facebook page or a LinkedIn page, you can send them to a Google survey that you've built out, asking key questions of who's
Mm-hmm.
following you,
Mm-hmm.
also looking at who's already in your database.
Mm-hmm.
Most they get them in there, they get really happy. Oh, but then they don't look at who are these people. And
Yes.
so that's 90% of first time donors are lost. And that's
Mm-hmm.
a number that I want to change. So I focus on, yes, you need to attract them, but once you get in there, then you shift. So you have two types of marketing: attraction and retention. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what, and you, in that retention, you're focused on engagement instead of using what is currently, I know we are talking a lot, what is currently called the donor engagement continuum. Has
Okay.
nothing to do with engagement. It talks about first time donor, sustaining donor, major donor, all the way up to legacy donor. Those are all giving levels, how much they gave. Our pyramid for a super donor
Mm-hmm.
starts with active, more, engaged, committed, super donor, which means they are your
Okay.
ambassadors. They will talk about you, they will help you fundraise, and they will do whatever's necessary. And that type of engagement can go across all of those giving levels. So it's rethinking your engagement. Don't spend so much time on the big ones and so little time on the first time. switch and give more time to retaining because it costs 5 times more to get new donors than it does to retain the ones you have. I know I'm going.
No, so this is important. So what I'm thinking is we're gonna have to have you back for another segment on another piece of it, because just that alone, like you said, that catapults, and we don't think of that being number one. Marketing should be that number one, because how do they know what you're doing to
Right,
give, to be able to
right.
give, because that's what's going to sustain. But yeah, oh my goodness, yeah, you said a whole mouthful here. Because just if we could give a little touch, um, they don't quite understand. I know this. I run into people and they say, I took some names, it's on my paper.
Automate, automate, automate. Okay, should I say that again?
Yeah,
Automate. And that's what a CRM is. CRM stands for Customer Relations Management Tool. It's software. I happen to use Active Campaign. There's a lot of them out there.
it
HubSpot,
is.
Neon, there's tons of them out there. I just
Mm-hmm.
happen to use, well, actually, I use MailChimp and Active Campaign.
Okay,
So it just depends on what
that
I'm doing.
makes sense. And I use HubSpot and realized it was free too.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, oh,
Uh, and a lot of them give big nonprofit discounts. So you do your research, but it also depends on what you need it for, because some of those that
yeah,
were built specifically for nonprofits really have too many bells and whistles for the smaller
yes.
nonprofits that you'll never use. And so you're paying this premium price for stuff that you'll never really use. Okay, stop using Excel spreadsheets. Okay, should I say that again?
Please.
Stop using Excel spreadsheets. Okay, it should be in a CRM where you can set up and automate making things effective and efficient
Mhm.
responses. You should, when someone donates to you, you shouldn't have to worry about, oh, I got to send them a thank you. It should happen
Mhm.
immediately. And if
Yes.
they're in a CRM, if you have a CRM that does that, they will automatically get a thank you email from going into that database.
Yes.
Make sure you're asking enough questions when they donate. You
Mhm.
need more than their name and email. I'm sorry. You need the
Can we
phone
say
number,
that one
you need the
again?
address, you need some pertinent information, because that is how you're going to follow up. That's how you're going to start taking them on that engagement journey
Yes.
to
I
get
love
them
it.
engaged. So CRMs are important. And like I said, there's a lot of them out there.
Mhm.
Depends on how big you are, what you want to use it for.
Mhm.
But there's some, like the CRM I'm using initially was $84 a year, which is,
Mm.
you know,
Mm.
MailChimp right now you can use for free, and
Yeah.
you can set up certain things.
Yeah.
Yes, if you want more bells and whistles, but that's investing in your engagement plan. So
Absolutely. Wow. Okay, so we do definitely have to, and I'm going to get the link from you as well, and we'll post that. But for your 3 day, what is it? The
yeah, Super
Super
Donor
Bowl
Challenge, which starts
challenge.
actually tomorrow, November 1st, and runs through the third, Wednesday through Thursday. You
Okay.
can find it at superdonorchallenge.now.site. I'll send you that.
Okay.
Um,
Because that will get us, they will get them to even the next one, correct? So if they miss,
yeah, if they register now, because
mhm.
they'll get notified of all the other things, or just sign up for any of the stuff that's
Okay.
out there on they'll start getting notifications. Sign up for our newsletter, which is
Okay.
on the Philantrepreneur Foundation or drvictoriaboyd.com. So there's many ways to get into what I call our system. Find
Yes.
me on LinkedIn, because I'm always posting dates on Facebook and LinkedIn,
Okay.
Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I'm on all the social media platforms,
I love
um,
it.
and the TPF network over there on YouTube. That is where the Nonprofit Corner podcast is, and a lot of already recorded training.
Right. So you just knocked out all the excuses that I hear. You might be a little younger than me, but I tell them all the time, if I know technology to the level that I do, then what excuses do you all have? So Dr. Victoria just shut you all down.
Didn't mean to. Just trying to give you some tips and
Are
strategies.
you sure? That means that you get mad and then you get get to moving forward so you can accomplish. That's what I tell everyone. Once you get over yourself, you get a little mad, and then you get back on the bandwagon because it's all about making the impact. And
Yeah.
that's the end result, and we do whatever it takes. Um,
If you're
and
passionate
we,
about your goal, you're going to keep moving forward. And
yes.
like I said, being a teacher in education for so many
Hmm.
years,
Hmm.
that's where I want to see whether it's an individual or an organization reach their full potential. So I
Hmm.
look at where the gaps are, and then I look at what interests me, because then I know I'll give 110% if it
Yes.
interests me.
Yes. All right. That's a good way to end. We got how to contact you. We're gonna put links down here. Make sure everybody you connect. I love it because I'm gonna connect. So I don't think you can learn enough. I really don't. So I do appreciate you, like I said, really gracing your presence here. But knowledge is everything to me.
Yep.
You nothing else. Knowledge is everything. And of
Yeah.
course we have to take
I have this little
action.
saying: knowledge is power, but then you scratch out the power, it's profitable.
Prop. Oh, I need a T-shirt with that. Let's see if we can beat her to the trademark. I'm just kidding, but my head is always full with different things on T-shirts. So, all right, but thank you again, and we will let you go your way, and you guys look out for me when I get on her show. But I love this. I feel honored. I really do, and I don't, take this for granted. And otherwise, everybody else, you know what I say about this. This was a great example of resources that are right there, you guys. You can be in your bed and click the button and listen. So we have no excuse. We really don't. So whatever your goals are, continue to do those goals. And I always say, it is nonprofit, for profit, and that's what it is. So I'll talk to you all the next time, and connect with us both. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.